Hi everyone. All right, now we're about to seam the ribbon that you just knit. And if you're looking for the pattern, it's in my Etsy shop and I'll link it down below. You're going to want to make sure the points are facing each other. And then you're going to take the two sides that you just knit and place them together like this. You'll use the cast on tail that was at the beginning, and you're just going to whip stitch this. You won't see this, so the way you seam it doesn't really matter because it'll be hidden in the end. So I'm just going to do a simple whip stitch right here. And I'm going to do that, and then I'll meet you back after I finish the whip stitch. Okay, so now we have it all whip stitched and it looks great. So again, make sure your points are facing each other like this. And the next part, you're going to measure from the point up. So you're going to put your tape measure right at the tip of that point and measure 7.5 inches. This is for the big size ribbon. There's a different measurement for the small size ribbon, and that's in the pattern. Put a removable stitch marker right on the edge there, and then do the same for this side. Okay, so now you're going to do a running stitch. Get a length of yarn in the same color. Again, this is going to be hidden, so it doesn't matter, but I like to use the same color. And you're going to do a gathering stitch right here, just like this. Rock it back and forth, picking up some knit fabric, and then leave a tail at the end. And then again along this other side. Okay, and then back through this way. The same running stitch motion. With doing it this way, it'll keep it nice and flat whenever you cinch it tight. All right, now just go ahead and start gathering. And now you're going to tie this section into a simple knot. I like to do a simple knot and then wrap that one short end around twice. I think it's called a surgeon's knot, but I'm not quite sure. It just needs to be secure. It doesn't really matter what it's called, I guess. Okay, nice and snug, and then you'll trim these. Be careful not to trim your knitting. Okay, nice and flat. Now you'll turn the fabric to the bow so it's like this, and put that center on the other center, match them up, and then with these two tails from the cast on, just wrap it around. This is kind of acting as the cinch to keep that center nice and squished together. Okay, so kind of give it a tug, wrap it around, and then you're going to thread these tails into a needle. Kind of fuss around with it just to make sure that you're liking the way it's looking. And then whenever I have a big section of thread like this or yarn, I take the end of my needle where the eye is and I bend it over that eye like this, and then pull it out and then pinch it through. And you can almost get like any thickness of yarn through an eye of a needle when you do this. It's kind of magic. All right, now just push the needle in through the middle, and this is giving me a little bit of a hard time pulling it through. And then you can leave that and trim it off later. So now the bow is really starting to take shape. Isn't it pretty? Okay, and then this little piece that we knit up last will go into the center and get cinched around this section. Just like this. Flip it to the back. And then you'll use one of the cast-on tails to sew it around the back of the bow. So the back isn't going to show, so it doesn't really matter how you sew it. So I'm just going to do a simple whip stitch here. I'm doing a voiceover, and you're going to see me struggling a tiny bit to get the tail pulled through, and then I just kind of decided that it's not worth fiddling with it anymore, and I just do my best and use the rest of the yarn, even though it's trapped in there, to seam it together. Just kind of making the best of it. This just shows you nothing has to be perfect. You can make something beautiful, and it does not have to be just so. It's still going to be a gorgeous bow, even though I had trouble with this thread. All right, I'm just doing a simple knot here, and then I'm going to trim these tails, and this is nice and tight. Again, careful not to trim your knit fabric. And here I am fiddling with the bow, making it nice and beautiful and flat. So pretty. And I have these little clips, and you can do a little hot glue to the inside of your bow. But what I like to do is I just like to catch a few of the stitches right there like that, in through there. I got the clips at a hair supply store, but you can get them like really anywhere, at a grocery store. And there you have it, just finishing up this beautiful bow, and voila, you're done. And then you can put it in your hair. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.